Hey guys, someone pointed out to me that I missed Aries reading, and I also noticed that I missed Capricorns. So I thought I'd just do them both together and get those out to you guys. So I'm going to start with Aries and then Capricorn, okay? The first card that I pulled for Aries, which is the situation, is Six of Cups in reverse. So this tells me there's somebody who's interested in you from the past and they want to return. Most likely an ex, okay? Somebody wants to reunite with you, but they just have unrealistic expectations. They're just stuck in the past, and they need to move on. The restoration of the relationship is possible, but only if you decide that it is. So the decision's up to you. So that's what I see for that. Afterward, I got the Six of Wands in reverse, which tells me that there's really no victory here. You may be a little afraid, like you've got an enemy at your doorstep kind of a thing. So this past person may have a reason to be angry with you, maybe because you were disloyal. So this just says, keep a low profile. It could be that this person has found you at work, maybe, or you met at work. It was just like a really awkward relationship and then it was over. And this says you could be cheated. Yeah, so there's not really some great news with this. The next card is the Seven of Cups, upright. And this tells me that you have a lot of options when it comes to your dating life. And I think that this could be the reason the person was upset with you, because you were dating multiple people. And the only way I can see to get rid of this ex is to let them know that you still have your options open. You have a lot of people you can date, or that you are dating, because this will probably turn them off and they would leave you alone. And here you don't really know what the right decision is to make, because you do have a little fear with the Six of Wands. You're a little fearful of what they do or what happen. Basically, just something is amiss with this person. You had a crush, but you guys hadn't really had a long-term relationship to where it could grow into love. This person's just living in like a fantasy world. They see the potential, but nothing was really real. They may have just had like a lusty kind of a relationship for a minute, and you're just attractive and charming, and that's what's drawing them in. And you just don't know what's best to do. Or if you do want this person back and you have the options, you just don't know who to choose. Okay, that could be it as well. To further clarify the Six of Cups in reverse, I got the Empress in reverse. And to me this would say, somebody's not pregnant, or nothing with this person's going to come to fruition. And I did have a reading for Gemini this month that somebody in that group, not everybody, was going to say that they were pregnant to try to get somebody to come back to them or to deceive them or stay with them. So if you do know a Gemini, just be a little cautious. Not like if your ex person is a Gemini, then you should be cautious, not just any Gemini. But basically you can see that this isn't going to work out. And so you will make the right decision. And this also just clarifies that it isn't ex, because this is a card that you would see after a breakup. But see, then again, in the reverse, it talks about reconciled lovers. So maybe you really don't know who to pick. You're indecisive, yeah. So we got 2 indecisive cards and 2 reconciled lover cards, which I haven't talked about just yet, sorry. Maybe you both were very sorrowful. But see, here it says the male no longer thinks or cares about the person. So maybe the reconciliation is just what you want if you're the person who wants the ex. You'd have to work to make it better. Like right now, you're not even talking really. And it could be just the fact that, without them, you feel like your life is meaningless. And then again, we have the unwanted baby thing. Or, not unwanted baby. The deception about babies. Okay, to further clarify that, I got the Five of Cups upright. So this tells me, basically everything happens for a reason. See here, this means return of an ex-lover, but see, it's upright. So what I'm thinking, this could also mean the reconciliation of lovers. So they are returning based on the Six of Cups, but you won't reconcile. That's what that is. Okay, that makes more sense. And then the Empress is just saying it's not going to come to anything. And so you're not even going to settle the unfinished business. That would be in reverse. You're not even going to settle it. You're just leaving it alone. Like, you're going to have to be honest with yourself because you may have hurt this person. But if you just leave it alone, it should go away. I know that's actually terrible advice, but I don't see anything in here that says to take action. I mean, if you did happen to get somebody pregnant, or you're pregnant, then you need to work on that part. But from what I can tell, if they have news about that, this would be in reverse, but it's not. So, I mean, you're not going to be renewing anything. There's no news that they really have to tell you. Here in reverse, this says you would start again, but it would just end. So you're not even going to try to start again. The last card I pulled to clarify the Six of Cups, I got the Page of Cups in reverse. This lets me know that the relationship was very childish. Like, there could have been some tantrums going on. Your feelings turn neutral. And you guys can't even communicate. That's why there's closed dialogue. Represented by the Empress in reverse. This says don't even weigh like the pros and cons. Like, you guys don't understand each other. So you can't communicate really well. And then one of you guys takes things personally, and the other one just is intolerant of all these personal feelings getting you hurt when they're not intended. So here in the beginning, here with the Page of Cups upright, we have a new beginning. Here we don't. Here we have ready to kiss and make up. Here we don't. There's not really just anything there anymore. So I think the indecision is, you know you're not going to get it together, but you just don't know what to do to make sure that this fear that you feel doesn't actually lead to something that you're afraid of. Right now, I don't see you taking any action other than to just let them go. Because here, the Romance Angel Oracle card says release your ex. So if you're the one who wants the ex back, it's not happening. And if they're coming back, I don't see any actions to take right now. Okay. And then I accidentally just put the clarifying deck down and got the Ten of Cups in reverse. So you guys wouldn't have a happy, content relationship. It wouldn't go the distance. And again, we have a false start. Okay. So nothing is coming out of this. See if I can get some kind of an action step for those of you who don't want to rock the boat from an ex. Okay, I don't even know what that's about. Okay, that was way too... Try that again. So, those of you who don't want to rock the boat, let's figure out if there's something you should do, or if there's something that you should just not do. Okay, Ace of Wands in reverse. I'm glad that we got, some Wands cards in here. Since how that's your suit. Ace of Wands in reverse. Ace means, the purity of this particular card. Like somebody's wishing for it to be successful. They're just wishing it too much, and it's just leading to the failure of their plan. Somebody's pushing too hard. Yeah, it would just come to ruin. There's no connection to the partner. There's no beginning new phase. Yeah. There's no luck with this. Okay. It's not really an action step. Let's see what else there is. Well, I did get death over there, so that means change. I only see death as an action step. Okay, Five of Pentacles upright as an action step. Basically, this is a cyclical kind of love connection. There's really no commitment. It's possibly, you'd be trying to consider if you want to be friends with benefits. So there's not going to be like a real connection, and that's not what the person wants. They use that to get in, but that's not what they really want. Alright, I had a card fall. Page of Pentacles in reverse. Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna have to read it from the floor. The space under the desk is just too tiny. Sorry. Page of Pentacles in reverse. Yeah, it's something about like a short-term focus. So somebody may be thinking about friends with benefits. Like they're wanting to have a relationship and kinds of stuff, and you're thinking possibly friends with benefits, but I would not consider that, okay? Because it could lead to something bad. Then again, this says, you know, you're going to take action. Yeah, it says take action. Don't be lost in your thoughts. And the advice is just, you know, to relax, lighten up. That's for the other one. What about the, yeah. Like, this is saying leave the person out in the cold. They feel this way, or you do, and it needs to stay that way. Okay. Yeah, Lovers upright. You gotta make a decision. You have this dilemma that they came back, and it's something that would change your plans, especially because somebody assumed there's a pregnancy when there's not. And so you're thinking your life's going to change, you take them back, and then you find out they lied. It talks about examine your motives, okay? With the Lovers, examine your motives, why you're thinking what you're thinking. It could be even a love triangle because somebody was unfaithful. And you do have a lot of options. Basically, I just see somebody's attracted to you. There was a union at one time. Possibly it was just friends with benefits because it was short term. Ooh, this is the Gemini's card. And I did have a reading where Gemini was going to possibly say if they were pregnant to keep somebody or get somebody. So if that's you, Aries, don't get caught in a trap, okay? Let's see if there's anything else the Angel Oracle cards for romance have to say. And then we'll cut it off there. I don't want to just jump but then lean it back down. Let's see. Yeah, this person is not your soulmate. So here we have soulmate. I think they're going to come and try to say they are, but they're really not. Or they think they are, but they're not. I think you're on the receiving end of this. So this must be for guys. If somebody's coming in saying they're pregnant. I don't think that's going to be for everybody though, so I'm trying to make it general. Yeah, don't make the effort. Okay. One more. Watch, it's probably not even going to make any sense because I probably shouldn't be pulling any more cards. Okay, maybe not. Came out like this. If I were to pull it upright, it'd be in reverse. So, not worth waiting for. We'll see. Alright guys, that's your reading, Aries. Now I'm going to move on to Capricorn, whom I also left out in February readings. Just take the advice. Don't make any decisions. I mean, don't make any decisions. If somebody's returning, don't take them back, even if they have a reason like pregnancy. I'd be very suspicious until you've had proof of something. Alright, the next reading is for Capricorn. I have a lot of cards pulled, so I might just switch these over a little bit now that I'm done with Aries reading. Okay, so Capricorn, your reading is a little difficult. I had to pull a few clarifying cards, and I may pull more still. But your overall situation is the Three of Cups, upright, which means that's supposed to be great. It talks about good times, celebration, you know, vibrant life, a good outcome, healing. I mean, this is victory. But I do notice the Three of the Cups. So that makes me think there may be three people involved in love. And to further clarify that, I got the Three of Swords upright, which tells me there's some kind of heartbreak. And it's possibly a love triangle. Somebody was unfaithful, somebody betrayed someone. The other idea about those is it could be a pregnancy represented by the three. And it's just kind of rocked your world a little bit. So to clarify that, I got the Two of Swords upright. You know, this tells me that you don't want to see something. You do have affection for someone. You are intimate. But it's more like you realized you were just friends. And that's the truth. But you're going to have to be kind of courageous because you're kind of missing some information in order to make a decision. So you're going to kind of just temporarily be indecisive and kind of be on the fence about if you want to be with them or not. And so on either side of the Two of Swords, I pulled other cards to see what it was you were trying to decide between. Okay. I'm just saying, no, this could be hidden agendas, but this is also like barriers to intimacy. like not letting people in, not wanting to see things, like blocking your own intuition. So on one side, I get the Seven of Pentacles upright. And this means gestation, like something's being born or something's growing. I mean, so it could be that, you're thinking about somebody. You could have an unrequited love, or you did something impulsively, and that person, you just kind of carelessly were intimate with them, but they weren't really your priority. And you're questioning like all these choices you've made about relationships in life. But this is a happy card, okay? Because it talks about, hope and reassurance. So this says, just see what happens. Let the universe decide, okay? And I mean, you are trying to pick between two things, so let the universe decide. This talks about just reflecting, and you will gain and be successful. That's the one side you're thinking of. But with Two of Swords, there's always a win-lose situation. With gestation, this could be about pregnancy or just a successful relationship. The other card on the other side of the Two of Swords was the Ace of Swords in reverse. And this usually means infertility or not pregnant. So some of you could be deciding between having a baby or not, whether or not you're already pregnant or not, like with the threes. I think this means it's already happening. It's supposed to be something you celebrate, but now maybe you found out your partner had somebody else and you're trying to decide whether or not to keep a baby. But here with the baby part, this is a positive card. Ace of Swords in reverse is a negative card. So you're trying to decide between keep the baby, which is positive, and don't keep the baby, which would be negative. So with Ace of Swords in reverse, it talks about infidelity. Somebody was unfaithful, and it could have led to a baby. Or you could simply just be trying to decide between somebody who's good for you and somebody who's been unfaithful and they're not good for you. And that could be what the three is about. You're the person in the middle, and then you have two people to pick from. Yeah, that could be it too. So one of these is going to apply to somebody. Some of them apply to someone else. Capricorns, what are you guys doing? You're trying to pick between people or just make a really tough decision, but just let the universe decide. That may be more towards pregnancy. I don't know how the universe is going to decide your matches for you, but maybe we can do some clarification on that. We'll see. Yeah, this is about childbirth and waiting to hear from someone. And you're delaying a relationship. Like here you're on the fence, so this could be a delayed relationship. And it talks about relationships in danger because somebody doesn't have feelings. And we did talk about a friendship. And like somebody's just not sure of their feelings. That could be it. And it's just some bad news. See, here if it was upright, it would say no matter what you decided, it'd be a win-win. Here it's a win-lose situation. Like somebody's going to get hurt. See, with the Three of Cups, it says, you're going to have an end to a severe situation. When it's upright, it talks about thoughts and you're not acting. Here, this is an action you're going to have to take. And if you do that, then you may just avoid an upcoming disaster. See, this also talks about excessive love and hate, or just a forced triumph. And when it's in reverse, it's the exact same thing, but the results are disastrous. So I'm thinking this talks about if it's pregnancy, you have the baby, you're going to have good results, something positive, you actually will celebrate. If you choose not to have the baby, it's going to end up in disaster. And that's represented by the Three of Swords, heartache, suffering, pain. There's clearly a good choice, whether it's a relationship or a baby. Who's the person who makes you grow? This is also unrequited love. That could be incorrect. That could be just somebody you really treasure. And there's somebody you don't treasure. I mean, you know who these people are, but it says let the universe decide, so we'll see. I pulled some clarifying cards for the Three of Cups / Three of Swords. And the first one, I got the Eight of Wands. This talks about a quick love offer coming in. And it's full of passion, very swift. So this may be why you're in this triangle. Like you got a love offer came in and you weren't expecting it. Some kind of news came in and you thought you might celebrate. Okay, you could have unexpectedly become pregnant. That's the news. And it caught you by surprise and you were thinking about celebrating. Four of Wands upright talks about stability and like an accomplishment or a celebration. So it seems like if you are pregnant, you really want to celebrate, but you're just trying to weigh the decision about something. And I can't see why if you want to celebrate so badly, why you have this other option. Like, why are you trying to decide that it should already be decided for you? To clarify the Ace of Swords, got the Ace of Pentacles upright. And this is a really good card. So I was thinking, why is this over here next to this negative card? I mean, this talks about, increase, being happy, material wealth. By the way, with the Three of Cups and the Seven of Pentacles, it talks about, anything you do it ethically, okay? Like if you're looking for money, you're going to get it ethically. Nothing underhanded. So basically, this is the start of a new exciting phase, a new relationship. It could be with a baby. If a partner is trying to make you decide between having a baby or not, it could be that this part, which means not having the baby, could be that they would stay with you if you don't have the baby. But this also talks about love that comes in its purest form. So, this could be the love of a child. See, in reverse, it's bad news. Upright, it's good news. So this could be saying, don't choose the negative side, because you're going to get a really pure love as a result of that. Also, again, this talks about prosperity and abundance, being on the path, being stable. Here at the Four of Wands, we have stability. So you need to be afraid that if you don't have this negative choice to pick from, that you'll become unstable. You won't get this. But if you notice, this is the sword side. The pentacles really belong over here with the Seven of Pentacles. And that would mean 8. And 8's usually regeneration, infinity, balance. Okay. Then to clarify the Ace of Pentacles, got the Eight of Swords in reverse. So this talks about a need to release somebody's a little treacherous or be in opposition towards you. And again, this talks about some kind of a death. So, this Ace of Swords in reverse could represent abortion. This talks about no longer being a victim. And here you don't really know what to expect, but here you do. If you make a decision, it's going to go one way or the other. And again, with the whole cheating thing, this also means somebody cheated, and it's going to be revealed. If you cheated and got pregnant and you're trying to decide whether or not to keep the baby, because maybe you're married. That's what this Four of Wands is. Maybe you're married. And this news that's really, swift that came in. And it could be that the partner you were cheating with doesn't really want you. And so you're really worried about your security and stability. Yeah, and in reverse, this talks about a love interest takes notice of you, or your relationship will continue. Yeah. Okay, so you want the relationship to continue with whoever you're with. Unless, of course, they betrayed you. But if you betrayed them, then yes, you still want them to be with you. But somebody's going to see their partner's true nature. Yeah, that's what I see for this. Just some kind of opposition or treachery, some kind of accident. Let's get some, since this is somewhat about love with the cheating and then a choice, it could be between somebody who makes you alive and somebody who makes you feel dead. That's not really much of a choice, but... Oh, crap, I forgot to pull more cards. Hang on. I thought that was for Aries, but I pulled it. Okay. Not calling in your soulmate. I don't know if that applies, maybe because I got distracted. Okay, so to clarify the Three of Cups, I got Justice. Justice says when you're making a decision, you have to consider logic as well as your intuition and emotion. So just to be objective. And see here, with Two of Swords, you're blindfolded as if you don't want to see something. Okay. So maybe you didn't want to see that somebody was being unfaithful, or you didn't want to see what kind of choice you have to make. But this is Justice, and that's Libra's card. It talks about just victory and balance, be objective. You're gonna have to be brutally honest and accept responsibility if you have cheated. And just learn to recognize that consequences you have, learn the difference between temporary consequences and permanent consequences. You're unable to change the events, okay? If you've cheated or if you've become pregnant, you're really not able to change that. And it's time for a decision, okay? This is, you are going to accept responsibility for what's happened. It could have been like you didn't really know your own worth, and you could have had an affair because you kind of just settled with low self-esteem. But you're going to become a new person, or you're creating a new person, and you're going to seek real love. Also, I got the Temperance in reverse, which just says you're imbalanced right now. You're not making a decision. You're kind of stuck. So that's what I see for that. And see here, in the upright, this will say the path that you want to take leads to imbalance. Here, the path you want to take does not lead to imbalance. To further clarify, got the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. This talks about not being responsible. Somebody's an immature person and you're just stuck. You're trying to make a decision. You're really discouraged. You were careless about something and now you're hesitating. Yeah. Then we have the Hermit upright. Sorry, I don't know why I'm yawning. This talks about seeking some advice, living on your own terms, and just don't try so hard. Take a step back, get some perspective. And if this is about a relationship and not a child, then it's the cause of your arguments or the cause of the cheating is not the fights. Okay, there's something else going on. It could be some self-esteem issues going on. But just take a break. Let the universe decide. Okay. Let's see what we can find about signs to look for, because I have read all of your cards. What's something that the Capricorns can look for as far as a love relationship goes? Okay, 5 of Wands in reverse. To me, I think this says you fantasize about giving up. Like, you don't feel like you want to prove yourself. And see, with the 4 of Wands and the 5 of Wands in a reading together, that's good luck. Okay, so if it's about a relationship, it's good luck. There could be some law involved, because in reverse this means law, and justice is about law, but you would have a favorable outcome. You could be getting divorced, because it does help out arguments. So if somebody cheated, I think that would be you, but not necessarily, because you're the one who's making 2 decisions. So you could be deciding whether or not to stay with somebody who cheated, but you could be getting a divorce. Okay, so as an action step, 5 of Wands in reverse says your dreams, your inner knowing, your tuition will tell you. And if the universe is making the decision for you, like it said, then your dreams are going to tell you the decision. That's just about your love life so far. I mean, I guess it could be about anything. It also talks about an irrational decision was made, and I think that is about the cheating. Some of you out there are the ones who cheated, and some of you aren't. So that's why I'm talking about both of them. Oh, hold on. Card was in the wrong direction. 8 of Pentacles in reverse. That's very strange. That never happens. Talks about not working so hard or working too much. Is that 8 of Pentacles? Could talk about somebody's interested. Yeah, the time is right to change. Embrace the unpredictable. And it's right over the decision making and the thing that I thought was pregnancy or something that's positive. But yeah, you want to kind of give up. Like your lover in reverse, this says your lover won't stay by your side. And I think that's what you've been worried about. And so you're afraid it's going to be a unrequited love. See, 8 of Pentacles in reverse, it's just a big red stop sign. Okay. So embrace the inevitable. You do have to make a decision. I mean, you can't be perfect. And it says, wanting to be perfect is going to keep you from being successful and happy. So your love may not stay by your side. And if that's the case, they weren't meant for you. Wheel of Fortune in reverse. So there's going to be a little downturn of luck. I'm sorry to say. But, it's the completion of a cycle, okay? You're going to get to know yourself. This person's not your soulmate. That's what that talks about. It says don't take action now. Okay? That's what, yeah. If it was upright, I would say take action. It's just an unlucky time for you. You're being a little resistant to change, which means aren't we all sometimes? It says it says accept a bad situation for what it is and just make it positive. Yeah, I can see that, because when you make it positive, it can turn the wheel back the other way. You can't avoid the consequences of the downturn, but it could eventually get right again. But don't take any risks. Just your love life's going to be dark for a while. Try to make it positive, okay? And you're going to start a new way of life. Or you could be starting a new life. You could be creating one. What about clarification for those who are pregnant? Page of Wands in reverse. I was not expecting that. Okay, let me think. I don't know if I've read that in a while. I usually read it right side up. Okay, basically it just says fighting won't solve anything. And also, again, instability. And we have that with the Temperance and all that. Five of Wands. There's just some kind of miscommunication. See, most of the time I get it in the upright. So I don't have much more than that for you. It just talks about like there's not a transformation right now. Lack of a transformation. Let's see what else I can get, because that's a little different. Ace of Pentacles in reverse. Didn't we just have that? We had it upright. Interesting. Alright, let me see what the reverse meaning would be. Ace of Pentacles in reverse. Wonder why you got both. Okay. In the reverse, it talks about lost opportunity. Like something was just a careless decision, pretty much. And you know, just do the ethical thing. And then, I mean, you're going to have bad news. But you're not going to have a connection to a partner, no matter what decision you make. Let's see if there's anything else. You got the same card, but in reverse. Hanged Man. Yeah, you're indecisive, and you're just going to kind of wait it out. But you're going to turn any negatives into a positive. At least that's what the cards are saying to do. Yeah. This also talks about a delay. Kind of delay your decision. Let go of the situation. The Star card talks about healing. And again with the number 8, because the 8 stars and the 8 points on the stars. Again, it's talking about balance, regeneration, cycles, like with the Wheel of Fortune. And with the 8 of Swords in reverse, the 8 of Wands. We have a lot of 8s in here, so you're going through some kind of a life cycle. You're having to make a decision about stability or something unpredictable. And it looks like you're going to have to sacrifice your stability for something unpredictable, but it's going to be successful. It's going to turn out positive. 9 of Wands upright. I really get this upright, and I got it upright 2 times today. You just don't see how something's going to be able to happen. Like, you can't see it becoming a reality. Whatever decision it is. Whether it's picking a certain person, you just don't see how it's going to work. Or you don't see how you can make it on your own after you're divorced. Or you don't see how you can make it having a kid, or having a kid by yourself. You're just... But see, when it's upright, this talks about you're ready. Okay, you are. You just probably don't know it. But again, it talks about you're going to start planning. And you're going to go on a journey. And it's not going to be a waste of time. Knight of Swords in reverse. Yeah, talk about slow down. Because upright it's hasty, but here he's slowing down. And the Knight of Wands is slowing down too. So with Knight of Swords in reverse, especially with the 7 of Pentacles, talks about no offense, like no offense. And with the 3 of Swords, it says any enemies you have are going to step back. So it's positive. In reverse, it just says don't weigh the pros and cons of the relationship. And somebody fell off a pedestal. And the relationship... No, here in reverse he talks about impulsivity. I don't know why. Okay, it seems like either way he's impulsive. This talks about a lack of change, and something was done unwisely. You feel like you're incapable. But here, this says you're ready, okay? So don't feel incapable of doing whatever it is. See, it also talks about lies and deceit. and not to make any commitments, like on paper, no contracts, don't sign paperwork. You're just feeling confused. Somebody kind of deceived you. The Emperor, yeah, be your own boss, take charge. You're going to scatter any enemies because, your enemies are going to step back. And we have Eight of Wands upright again. So, this good news that you were happy about at the beginning, it's going to stay that way towards the end, okay? You found some news, you were celebrating, that you had all these choices to make, but you're going to end up turning things positively, and things are going to happen swiftly again. It's going to turn around swiftly again. Oh, okay, the bottom we have the Sun upright. So yeah, it's going to be very positive. In fact, you're going to have families like children. People will see you in a positive light afterwards. You're going to just radiate. You're going to be confident, just successful. If you did have any setbacks, I just lead you to setups. Very warm and positive, okay? Alright, that's your reading, Capricorn. I hope you enjoyed it. For those of you who need to make a decision, you're just going to wait it out, let the universe decide for you. Do what you can to take a bad situation and make it positive, okay? I hope you enjoyed your reading. Be happy.